Oliver King, a British quantum physicist, stepped out onto his balcony, enjoying the rare tranquility of a London morning. He sipped his coffee, the aroma blending with the crisp air, unaware that his life was about to change forever. The sky, once clear, began to darken as millions of tiny, metallic spheres descended, each pulsing with a faint blue light. Panic spread through the city as people pointed upwards, their faces masks of confusion and fear. Alarms blared across the city, and the serene morning was replaced by chaos. Oliver's phone buzzed urgently in his pocket. It was Dr. Maria Voss, his former mentor and an expert in alien technology. "Oliver, we need you at the research facility. Now," she said, her voice steady despite the urgency. Oliver's heart raced as he hurriedly packed a bag with his essential equipment and sped through the congested streets. The scenes around him were apocalyptic, cars abandoned, buildings partially destroyed, and people running in all directions. He arrived at the facility, a high-security bunker fortified against any external threats. Inside, the atmosphere was tense but focused. Scientists and military personnel were huddled around screens displaying real-time data of the invasion. Dr. Voss, a tall woman with silver hair and a commanding presence, approached him. "Oliver, I'm glad you're here. We've identified the invaders' technology. They're searching for something, and we need to figure out what before it's too late," she said, leading him to a lab filled with advanced equipment. Oliver immersed himself in the data, working alongside an international team of scientists. They discovered that the spheres were scanning for a specific energy signature, something unique to Earth. The invaders' precise movements suggested they were after an energy source hidden deep within the planet's crust. Dr. Voss theorized, these spheres are controlled by a central command, likely an alien mothership orbiting Earth. If we can disrupt their communication, we might stop the invasion. Oliver proposed using quantum physics to create a device that could interfere with the sphere's molecular structure. The team quickly got to work, designing a prototype that could emit a destabilizing frequency. As they worked, Oliver learned about the military's efforts to defend the cities. Despite their best efforts, the alien technology was far superior. The initial attempts to counter the spheres had failed, and the situation grew more desperate by the minute. Hours turned into an intense blur of calculations, testing, and modifications. The facility was a hive of activity, each person driven by a singular purpose: to save humanity. The prototype was finally ready for a small-scale test. Oliver and Dr. Voss presented it to the military leaders, explaining how it could potentially turn the spheres to ash. The test was conducted in a controlled environment, and to everyone's relief, the device worked. The spheres disintegrated instantly upon activation. The room erupted in cheers, but the victory was short-lived. Reports came in of a massive object entering Earth's atmosphere. The alien warlord, Zargath, had arrived. Zargath's presence escalated the conflict. He commanded a new wave of spheres equipped with enhanced technology, making them immune to the initial prototype. The team's morale plummeted as they realized the gravity of the situation. Oliver's mind raced. They needed to adapt the device quickly. He and Dr. Voss worked tirelessly, incorporating new data and refining their approach. The facility buzzed with activity, the air thick with determination and the weight of their mission. Oliver King stood at the center of the bustling research facility, his mind racing as he absorbed the gravity of their situation. Around him, scientists and military personnel collaborated, each contributing their expertise to combat the alien invasion. The urgency was palpable, but Oliver knew they needed more than haste. They needed precision. Dr. Maria Voss approached him, her expression serious yet composed. "Oliver, we've confirmed that the spheres are not merely weapons. They're systematically searching for a specific energy source unique to Earth." Oliver's brow furrowed. An energy source? What could they possibly be after? Maria led him to a screen displaying complex energy readings. These signatures suggest they're looking for something deep within the Earth's crust, something with immense power. We need to identify it before they do. As the team delved into research, Oliver proposed using quantum interference to disrupt the sphere's molecular structure. It was a long shot, but they had no other options. The scientists worked tirelessly, refining the prototype Oliver had initially designed. Meanwhile, reports from the field grew more alarming. The military's efforts to defend major cities were proving futile against the advanced alien technology. Casualties were mounting, and morale was dwindling. Oliver knew they were running out of time. In the lab, tensions ran high as the team faced numerous setbacks. The prototype, though promising, required extensive adjustments. Oliver and Maria worked side by side, their bond strengthening through shared determination. Their late-night conversations revealed not only professional respect but also personal stories of sacrifice and hope. "Do you ever wonder why we're doing this?" Oliver asked one evening, glancing at Maria. "Why we keep fighting, even when it seems hopeless?" Maria smiled faintly. "Because giving up isn't an option. We owe it to ourselves and to those who come after us to try everything we can." Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent call from the military command center. A new wave of spheres, larger and more sophisticated, had descended on key strategic locations. The team needed to act fast. They conducted a field test with the refined prototype. The device emitted a high-frequency pulse, and the spheres in the test area disintegrated instantaneously. The breakthrough ignited a flicker of hope among the team, but it was short-lived. The sphere's mothership, commanded by the formidable Zargath, had arrived, and the next wave of attacks began. The research facility transformed into a command hub. Plans were hastily drawn, resources allocated, and every available hand prepared for the next phase. The stakes were higher than ever, and the margin for error had vanished. Oliver, standing before the gathered team, felt the weight of responsibility. "We have one chance to make this work. Our prototype can disrupt the spheres, but we need to deploy it strategically. This isn't just about survival. It's about ensuring they never come back." The team nodded, their resolve evident. The atmosphere was charged with a mix of fear and determination, a collective understanding that failure was not an option. They moved with purpose, each step calculated, each decision vital. As they prepared for deployment, Maria pulled Oliver aside. "There's something you should know," she began, her voice low. "Zargath isn't just any warlord. He's after something personal. I've encountered his kind before, and they don't stop until they get what they want." Oliver felt a chill run down his spine. "What does he want?" Maria hesitated, then met his gaze. "Power, control. And if we don't stop him, he'll turn Earth into a wasteland." Oliver King stood at the deployment area, the weight of the mission pressing down on him. Around him, the facility buzzed with the focused energy of preparation. The prototype device, now refined and ready, was their best chance to turn the tide against the invaders. Dr. Maria Voss approached, her eyes filled with a mix of hope and determination. "Everything is set," Maria said, handing Oliver a data tablet. "We've pinpointed the key locations where the device needs to be deployed. If we succeed, we can neutralize a significant portion of the alien spheres." Oliver nodded, absorbing the information. "Let's move quickly. We don't have much time before Zargatha's next wave." Teams were dispatched to strategic points around the globe, each equipped with a prototype. Oliver led the main team, targeting the heart of London where the invasion had begun. The cityscape was unrecognizable, transformed into a battlefield of crumbling buildings and deserted streets. As they approached the deployment site, Oliver spotted a group of civilians trapped in a collapsed building. Without hesitation, he directed his team to assist. They worked swiftly, freeing the trapped individuals and guiding them to safety. "Thank you," one of the survivors said, gripping Oliver's hand. "We thought we were done for." Oliver smiled, though the gravity of their situation weighed heavily on him. "Stay safe. We'll do everything we can to end this." With the civilians secure, the team continued to the deployment site. They set up the device, its hum of power a stark contrast to the destruction around them. Oliver activated the device, and a powerful pulse rippled outwards. The alien spheres caught in the wave disintegrated instantly, turning to ash and falling like dark snow. "That's one down," Maria's voice crackled over the comms. Good work, Oliver. We've got reports coming in from other teams. The devices are working. Relief washed over Oliver, but it was short-lived. A massive shadow loomed above them as Zargath's ship descended. The ground shook as it landed, and the alien warlord emerged, flanked by heavily armed guards. Zargath's presence was imposing, his armor gleaming ominously in the dim light. "You think you can defy me?" Zargath's voice boomed, echoing through the ruins. "Your efforts are futile. Surrender now, and I might spare your planet." Oliver stood firm, his resolve unwavering. "We will never surrender. This is our home, and we will fight to the end." Zargath sneered, raising his hand to signal an attack. His guards surged forward, weapons blazing. Oliver and his team took cover, returning fire. The battle was fierce, each side fighting with everything they had. In the midst of the chaos, Oliver spotted an opening. He motioned to Maria, who nodded in understanding. Together, they made a dash for Zargath, using the debris as cover. As they closed in, Zargath unleashed a blast of energy, sending Oliver sprawling. Maria reached out, helping him to his feet. "We need to get closer," she urged. "The device won't reach him from here." Gathering his strength, Oliver pushed forward. They dodged enemy fire, inching their way closer to Zargath. The alien warlord seemed invincible, his attacks relentless. But Oliver knew they had to try. Finally, they were within range. Oliver activated the secondary prototype, directing its pulse towards Zargath. The warlord's armor absorbed the first wave, but the second wave caused it to crack and weaken. Zargath roared in fury, his guards faltering as the pulse disrupted their systems. Taking advantage of the moment, Oliver and Maria pressed their attack. They focused the device's energy on Zargath, pouring everything they had into the assault. With a final, defiant cry, Zargath's armor shattered, and he fell to the ground, defeated. The remaining alien forces, disoriented and leaderless, began to retreat. The battle was over, but the war was far from won. Oliver and Maria stood amidst the rubble, catching their breath. "We did it," Maria said, a weary smile on her face. "But this isn't the end. We need to regroup and plan our next move." Oliver nodded, his mind already racing with thoughts of what lay ahead. They had struck a significant blow against the invaders, but he knew the fight for Earth was just beginning. Oliver King stood at the helm of the command center, his gaze fixed on the alien mothership that loomed ominously in the sky. The defeat of Zargath had bought them time, but the alien forces were regrouping, and their retaliation would be swift and merciless. The team needed a new plan, one that would strike at the heart of the enemy and end this conflict once and for all. Dr. Maria Voss joined him, her face lined with fatigue, but her eyes bright with determination. "We have one last chance, Oliver," she said, displaying a detailed schematic of the mothership. "The core reactor is their Achilles heel. If we can plant the device there, we can disable the entire fleet." Oliver nodded, understanding the gravity of their task. "I'll lead the mission," he said firmly. "We can't afford any mistakes." Preparations were swift. The team assembled, each member fully aware of the dangers ahead. They boarded a stealth aircraft, equipped with the enhanced prototype and a detailed plan of the mothership's interior. The journey was tense but focused, every second bringing them closer to the decisive moment. As they approached the mothership, the aircraft's cloaking devices hummed, shielding them from detection. They landed undetected in a docking bay, and the team disembarked, moving silently through the alien corridors. The interior was a labyrinth of advanced technology and foreign architecture, but their path was clear. Suddenly, they encountered resistance. Alien guards, alerted to their presence, launched an assault. The team fought back with precision, their movements a synchronized ballet of strategy and skill. Blaster fire illuminated the dark corridors as they pushed forward, each step bringing them closer to the core. They reached the reactor room, its immense size and pulsing energy a testament to the power it held. Oliver and Maria worked quickly, setting up the prototype while the others held off the relentless waves of guards. Sweat trickled down Oliver's face as he connected the final wires, the device humming to life. Just a few more seconds, Oliver muttered, his fingers flying over the controls. The reactor's energy fluctuated, responding to the device's interference. Maria's voice cut through the din of battle. We need to hold them off just a bit longer. The guards intensified their attacks, sensing the threat to their power source. Oliver felt the pressure mounting, but he remained focused. Finally, the device was ready. He activated it, and a powerful pulse emanated from the reactor, cascading through the mothership systems. The lights flickered, and the ship trembled as the pulse disrupted its core functions. The alien guards faltered, their movements erratic as their systems were compromised. Oliver and Maria shared a glance of triumph, knowing they had succeeded. "Let's get out of here," Oliver shouted, and the team made a hasty retreat. They navigated the collapsing corridors, the ship's internal systems failing one by one. They reached their aircraft and launched into space just as the mothership began to implode. From the safety of their craft, they watched as the alien fleet disintegrated, the chain reaction rendering the invaders powerless. Earth was safe and the nightmare was over. Back at the facility, the atmosphere was one of relief and celebration. The team was hailed as heroes, their bravery and ingenuity having saved the planet from certain destruction. But amidst the joy, there was a solemn understanding of the sacrifices made and the challenges still ahead. Oliver stood on the balcony, gazing at the sky where the mothership had once loomed. Maria joined him, a quiet camaraderie between them. "We did it," Maria said softly. "We actually did it." Oliver nodded, his mind already racing with thoughts of rebuilding. "This is just the beginning. We need to ensure something like this never happens again." Maria smiled, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. "Together we will. The world owes you a great debt, Oliver." He shook his head. "We did this together. Everyone played their part."